This is the Garmin TacX Alpine, and it's the best way I've found to turn my living room trainer into a real climb instead of just a wheel spinner. But let me explain why. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last month hammering out structured workouts on Zwift, and the difference the Alpine makes is night and day. Instead of staring at a flat road on my screen, the front of my bike literally rises when the virtual grade hits 8%, then eases back down when I crest the hill. It's not some jerky motion, it's smooth, almost like the road itself is lifting you. That small movement cues your body to shift weight forward, engage different muscle groups, and stop the "I'm just sitting here pedaling" feeling you get on a regular smart trainer. The dynamic fork mount is the part that sold me. When you pair the Alpine with TacX's steering sensor, the trainer subtly rocks side to side as you steer through a corner. It's subtle enough that you don't feel seasick, but enough to make the whole experience feel like you're actually on the road. I've taken corners on my commuter bike 100 times, but doing it indoors while the trainer tilts left and right gives you a tiny extra dose of realism that makes the workout more engaging. Setup was easier than I expected. The Alpine ships mostly pre-assembled, and the included quick-release skewer slides right into my road bike's dropouts without any extra adapters. I had it on the floor and my bike clipped in within 20 minutes. The motion base is heavy, it's got to be to stay stable when you're standing on the pedals, but once it's in place it barely moves. I've done 400-watt seated climbs and the trainer never budged an inch. Noise is another big win. The Alpine uses a quiet linear actuator, so the only sounds you hear are the faint whir of the motor and your own breathing. I've run it at midnight with the windows open and didn't get any complaints from the neighbors. That's a luxury you don't always get with direct drive trainers that have loud fans. I also love that the Alpine pairs with Garmin's training software. You can follow a structured workout that automatically adjusts the gradient in real time, or you can dive into one of the on-demand rides that simulates famous climbs like Alpe du Zwift. The motion cues make the effort feel more natural, so your heart rate and power numbers track closer to what you'd see outside. One thing to keep in mind, the Alpine only raises the front wheel, so you're still limited to about a 10% virtual grade unless you add a rear wheel riser block. It's not a deal breaker for most people, but if you're chasing 15% grades you'll need to budget for the extra piece. Also, the dynamic steering sensor is sold separately, so if you want that subtle side-to-side motion you'll need to pick that up as well. All in all, the TacX Alpine turns indoor training from a chore into something that actually feels like riding. The gradient simulation is the star feature, but the quiet operation and easy setup make it a pleasure to use every session. Link is below if you want to see the current price and read more reviews. For most buyers, the real question is not whether Garmin TacX Alpine Gradient Simulator for indoor training sounds impressive on paper, but whether strengths like Gradient Simulator raises and lowers the front of your bike to an dynamic fork mount allows for interactive steering when paired actually make daily use feel easier, more dependable, and more worthwhile after the first few days of excitement wear off. What stands out about Garmin TacX Alpine Gradient Simulator for indoor training is how it seems positioned for buyers who want something practical, easy to understand, and worthwhile beyond the first impression. It is also smart to think about long-term satisfaction. A product like Garmin TacX Alpine Gradient Simulator for indoor training usually feels like the better buy when it stays convenient, comfortable, and reliable in normal everyday use instead of only looking good in the listing.